Molly Sander here, coming to you live from Molly Sander Ceramic Studio in Adair Park, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here in the kiln room, unloading a bisque kiln, and I thought I'd go live with you. Welcome, if you're new here. I love teaching clay. I've been teaching clay for over 2 decades. I am also a ceramic artist. I love sharing everything on social media. I love working with artists or individuals to bring out their inner artist. A lot of our students, this student made this, I think, for the upcoming Olympics. She has parties. This is part of my new dinnerware collection, like a bowl plate. Ooh, this is one of our beginner students. Look at that fabulous form. I don't see any cracks. A+. That's the thing, beginners don't even know how great it is to see pieces come out without cracks. Interesting. I guess there's something up. Okay, more bowl plates. These will get stacked like this and go in my own cabinet. Silts go in between each layer. And then the kiln shelf, these are kind of heavy, so you want to get a good grip on them. And these are the hollow ones too. For our kilns, we have L and L kilns. On Instagram, they're hot kilns, if you find them. I love them. They're just big electric kilns. I'm loading a bisque kiln here. And we've got some of my work, some student work, some one-time workshop pieces. Taking out the stilts. These are how we separate each layer. That's why we load by height. I remember when I was learning ceramics, I'd always wonder why haven't they put my piece in yet? But you load by height, so if you're doing a bunch of low stuff, and you're waiting on your tall base to get in there, it's just gonna have to wait until there's room. Some more of these bowls. They just kind of stack a little better. I don't know if you can see those. Another layer. Another shelf. More pieces here. Another shelf. And see, like this tall piece took up a lot of space, so those shorter pieces had to wait. You can see that up there. Another shelf. Let me get this, the kiln shield, because as you bend over the soft kiln brick, this helps protect them. These are Jana's. Some workshop pieces, one-time workshop. More stilts to help divide the layers of work. To be honest, I'm usually a mess putting these away, but trying to slow down. things on this load. Ooh, another beginner student. Love that. Let's see. Beginner students. Beginner students. And then I'll come back for 2 more shells. Hang on tight. And this is when I usually have a step stool so I can get to the bottom of this. Okay. Last layer. Let's see. So it's all at the bottom. I don't know if I bring y'all over. Can you see there? These are going to be fun. These are actually little silverware holders that this student made to entertain and be able to put your silverware on the table. This student's doing a whole silverware. And these little leaves, love them. And last few pieces. There we go. And now we will wheel the cart out. Come back with you, but we're gonna wheel this out into the main studio. I'm gonna leave the kiln room. I'll give you one more little tour. You can see we have our kiln shelves, a bunch of stilts. These are cookies. They're bisque pieces of clay that we fire glaze work on. In case the glaze runs, they'll run on the cookie and not the kiln shell. And then we've got a little kiln over here. I wouldn't say little, I'd say like a medium. Be careful. Medium kiln here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 big kilns. So it's nice to keep everything moving. And then we have our carts in here to load up. We got carts out here waiting to go in. And I guess I'll put y'all here. And I'll bring the cart over and we'll unload it. So if it's a student work, we will where is it? If it's my work or workshop work. This Look at that foot. Look at that. Beautiful. Hand-built pole. Beautiful as well. Student pieces. This, I believe, is student piece. Student workshop. We can unload this workshop work, and we can actually clean up the other workshop work and get it loaded to a cart. So maybe I'll move you for that next. Put you here. List now. I'm gonna go get a bucket of water and a sponge. These are the tools that I like when I clean off pieces. I like a bucket of water, a rib if I need to like scratch off a sponge, if I need to re-sign their name, and if I really need to smooth something down. So, for example, let me bring you closer. Okay, this texture, I don't like that. I would start with a rib tool and like see the texture, just scratching that off. Also, it's so satisfying. And then I put that in my bucket of water, and then all these really sharp edges, I'll wring out my green scrubby thing so it's not dripping. And then see these sharp edges, I'm just gonna hold this and rotate gently, but I'm kind of softening those sharp edges. And also off of their name, if there's any texture at this point, it's gonna go in and have texture, and it's gonna come out be really sharp. So softening any sharp edges now. Look, that little texture, we don't love that. Pop that off actually, and then just make sure everything's smooth. So this one's good. Sarah, she gets her little ticket. And we'll just try to get all these cleaned up. Again, the little crumbs can just and then I'm gonna rotate. Make sure that's smooth, make sure this is smooth. This one I am seeing a little bit of a crack. Smooth that out. Okay, ticket goes back in. We do it again. Now this one I was a little curious about because it's like a weird shape. So we've got to keep some of that base, even though, you know, it's thrown very narrow. So when you're learning clay, you should keep the outside, however the inside is, but obviously the inside is very narrow, but this kind of thin piece that was left against the bat is acting as the pedestal, so we kind of have to be patient and careful not to remove too much of it. So see, we want it to sit on that. We don't want that too sharp or rough. All these edges cleaned up. Tag. Oh. While it's bone dry, you can soften everything up. If this cracks off and I put it in the kiln, I cannot smooth it up later. So right now I'm just smoothing it up, and I put the little ticket with it, and then it's ready to go on the card. Next one. And kind of scrape off into my water bucket. I have a water bucket here. Always, if you have dry clay dust, you should always have a clay bucket around. And then I'm taking, like, see the sharp edge? This little green scrubby thing just does the trick. This is wet, but it's wrung out so that as not to oversaturate. And then I am making sure there's not texture on the bottom that's gonna scuff something up later. Checking that there's no cracks. Good. Next one. This one I think I had to patch. I tried to do a video for y'all, but it did not let me post. Just taking this texture, scratching that into my water bucket, and then, like, see that sharp texture and edges. Just kind of buff that out. Any texture you don't like, you do it before it goes in the first firing. A little sponge just smooths that out, put the ticket with it. She done. Next one. Ooh, look at all that texture. We don't like that texture, so we just get it, and then all that texture can go in my little bucket. And on the bottom, we write their name, the date of their workshop, and their color choice. That way, as it comes out of the next firing, we know which place to dip it in. And then when it comes out of that firing, we know what date it will get picked up under. So everything's softened. Ticket on some front. These are so fragile because they are bone dry. So if you fix them at this stage, I mean, if you break them at this stage, there's really no repairing them. But, like, see all that funky bit? You definitely want to take the time and smooth that, smooth that. Like, see these edges? Okay, ticket. See the sharp edges and everything, like right there? Just a little wipe around. Brush over the texture made from writing the name. And this is where, if I needed to, I could come back in here and just make sure the letters are still apparent. Don't love the little texture there. Now we do. Same thing, just a little of this rough texture. We like the organicness of it, but we don't like that rough texture. This one has a lot of sharp edges. Ticket with it. These thin, bone dry plates are so fragile. I went years making pottery before somebody explained to me the importance of smoothing my pots before the first firing. I have all these pots that are so rough and have this unintentional texture happening just because I didn't know to do this step. So if you take an 8-week class with us, I teach you immediately. Take that extra couple seconds, smooth everything out. So it goes in smooth and then it comes out smooth. See all that texture? Rotate. Check it. Bring out my green scrubby thing. It does get filled with clay, so you want to turn it. Texture, all the sharp edges. It's nice if you can kind of palm around it. Texture, and then get these little sharp edges, which again I should probably show you. Look, just in like that little bit of time, it just not smooth. Take it. Green scrubby thing. And then like this one has a lot of issues going on in the bottom, so just a little attention at this stage. We can really transform it while not losing the personality of it being probably their first time throwing a piece, which is magical. So much smoother. Last one down here, and we got a couple more, 3 more. Little one. Get all that texture, and because it dried, again, we can literally so easily just scratch it off. And I do like to scratch it off into a wet bucket to eliminate clay dust when possible. All that dried clay bits just becomes clay dust when it becomes, you know, from like dry and then these tickets are new for our studio, and I'm hoping, because again, we haven't even been using it for that long, but I'm hoping that it really helps with tracking the work so that as people put their work up for firing, and when it comes out, we just hit a button, and then they all get notified that their work is ready. So hopefully it will eliminate kind of the wondering of, where's my pot? Is it in the kiln? Is it out of the kiln? Okay. And then one more. This one. Another one that, you know, it's a cute like first pot, and like these sharp edges. We're just gonna gently but confidently turn it in the green scrubby thing. Soften up these edges. Anything too thin can be really sharp. Like, see this texture right there? Just do that. Okay, last one, ticket. And now we've got now these are all clean. That feels good. These crumbs. Gotta sneeze. Excuse me. And we got these pieces that I think were just demos from the workshop. So these can actually just get cycled. This gets cleaned up. Side. This back. Workshops. And then we'll bring you over here. Bring you here. Because then you can see the replay buckets. Stuff. Live right here, just so you know. It's a little ASMR video into the buckets. These can, maybe I should go get my shatter. Oh, you can't even see it. Sorry, guys. And then to the sinks. I love chunks. I'm actually going to try to prevent them from just going down the drain. I'm going to take this in the strainer to then dump the strainer. Because in the clay studio, you don't want anything going down the drains. It doesn't have to. Things for these tools are in here, and we do have our tool wall, which I love. Little sponges, we have serrated red tools, which are great for scoring. They have the zigzag edge. A bunch of those, needle tools, one knife, rib, paintbrushes that go in my studio. Time to be me throwing some more holes. Get some clay, and I need to set up a wheel for throwing. do also like to curve, so I'm doing bowls. And then we'll just take a wooden knife and a needle to overlap. I'll take a towel just in case, and we'll go set up at the wheel. But then I actually need to wedge the clay. So I have 5 classes. Each class has 12 students. Not all of them are beginners or learning, but for those who are, I give them a prepared bowl to learn about trimming on. So here are those for tonight's class, as well as, and that actually feels great, so I could wrap this up now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these bats. And then we'll wrap these up really well so that everyone's not used to make can be used tomorrow. And then I'll just throw more these bats because you can't throw and trim on the same day. You have to get them thrown ahead of time so that then you can wire cut them and flip them. Actually, here's some plastic. Cover these once. These I'll cover them twice because I see a little hole in that plastic. Alright, now I've got that, so we need clay and we need this wheel that I'm going to throw on, which I can just angle y'all over this way because that's where wheel is parts, but as I throw holes, I can just put the holes apart. Before I get to throwing, I gotta get to make another tool on the board, so we're making up for the ball and give it a board up to it, which makes lesson. Then I'll help throw students around. But at least I got kiln unloaded, workshop work cleaned up. It's good. Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't yet already, subscribe to my channel, go check out my other lives, and let me know if you have any thoughts, concerns, or questions, topics you want me to cover.